Sports. Lacrosse is one of the oldest sports in the U.S. and it's also the fastest growing sport in the nation. The UofL women's lacrosse team just wrapped up their season with the best home record in school history. And joining me tonight to talk about the increased popularity of lacrosse and her team is Coach Kellie Young. Kellie, we're so excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Now you're starting your 6th season as head coach. How have you seen lacrosse grow in popularity?
You know, when we look into the stands and we hear the roar during our games, you know that there's people following our team, and that's been exciting to see. Every year the fan base has gotten larger and larger, and it could be the community or it could be, you know, the men's teams on campus, so it's been exciting.
Now you just signed 7 new girls for next season. I know next season looks exceptionally bright. I mean, you've had great seasons in the past. But looking at the team roster, there aren't any girls from Kentucky. What is the high school game like here, and is there talent to recruit, or is it just not caught on in this state as much?
No, the sport has definitely caught on, and it's grown not only in the high schools, but it's growing at the middle school level. What we're seeing, though, is those student athletes who are great athletes are focused on soccer and basketball and volleyball and field hockey, so lacrosse is just not their college path. There is a player playing at Harvard. We saw her this past fall in a tournament out in Maryland. So it is growing. We just, it's not a pull yet for our team quite yet, but we're always looking and going to the championship, first round of the championship tonight to watch and just to see who's out there, but we just love to see the game grow.
Now, if you could talk a little bit about your experience as a lacrosse player. You played in college, you played for the U.S. developmental team, also got to experience a little bit of international play as well. How has women's lacrosse changed since your on-field days?
Oh my goodness. Well, don't laugh at me, but when I first started playing in college, I was using a wood stick, so, which I'm sure none of the kids nowadays even know what that looks like. But that was, for me, it was teaching me the basics. Ground balls were a little bit more challenging, so to be more disciplined with that. But I was definitely a wood stick player. And then even going into my first few years of trying out for US, I was using that wood stick, and it was a little bit more fundamental. The game now is just so fast. I mean, we talk about horses on the field who just run end to end, and great stick work, molded heads, plastic heads, stringing becomes more intricate in how you hold the ball into the stick. So, you know, the technical part of the game has just blossomed a ton where they're more aware of how to be better at what you do. But, you know, the basics are still there. It's hustle, it's heart, it's, you know, making sure, don't worry about dropping the ball, just go chase it down and pick it up. So it's definitely grown a ton, but the fundamental things that I love about the game still exist. Now,
I saw you tweeted a picture from outside your office. You said one of these off days, the girls are still practicing. How do you keep these girls motivated? You were a player. How do you use that as well to keep them motivated through the off season and to make themselves a better lacrosse player?
Well, it's sort of a long-winded answer probably, but you know, for me, we're in Kentucky, and the sport is growing here. We're not Maryland, where every little kid who's 4 and 5 years old is playing with a stick. So recruiting to an undeveloped area can sometimes be challenging. Recruiting to Louisville is phenomenal. You know, the University of Louisville athletic program is pretty neat. It's pretty blessed to be part of that. So trying to get people here, and then showing them what we can do, it's all about that hard work. It's all about what you do off the field. It's what you do in your downtime. It's not what I'm teaching you. I'm teaching the game skills. I'm teaching you how to work together, defense, offense, our transition play. It's, you know, shooting a bag of balls every day. It's being on the wall for 5 minutes on your own. That culture has taken some time to instill in the players where they've owned it, you know, and now it's part of who they are, but it's there. And so tweeting that picture and just watching play, and we hadn't had a full off day because they still do rehab, you know, on those days when they're technically off with us. But they hadn't had that full off day in so long, and just to see them out there shooting and playing and laughing and giggling, it fills your heart as a coach. It was pretty amazing.
You should be proud. They've been very successful. The lacrosse program at Louisville, the women's, is fairly new, but you're their only head coach, so you're all that they've known, and I can tell that they, you know, really enjoy playing for you. What do you credit for your success at Louisville?
Hard work, and I know we just talked about that, but it really is, you know, playing for the name across your chest and having so much pride in the University of Louisville and our athletic program for the institution, and going out there and fighting for that every day. It's looking at the players to your right and left and saying, I'm going to do whatever you need me to do to have your back. And that hard work, that sort of blue-collar attitude has really helped us beat Ohio State, who is a perennial powerhouse, you know, beat Loyola. It's a culture that we've created, that sort of hard-nosed, get down and dirty, whatever it takes to win a game, and playing for your teammates and for your school.
The crazy thing about college athletics, as soon as the season ends, it really doesn't end. It starts right back. And like I said, you signed those 7 new girls. What are your expectations for next year's season?
Our expectations continue to grow every year. You know, we have a senior laden team, 10 seniors who have been with us, stuck with us, so driven and committed to the program. Our junior class will be smaller. That's been our culture shift of getting people on track with who we are. And then our sophomore class really is the most talented first-year class this year. That's going to be the sophomore class. Most talented group of players that we've ever had. Now, this incoming first-year class, we have a player coming in from Australia who's about to play in the World Cup, a player coming in from Virginia who is super smart, doing a program right now on Alzheimer's research.
Oh, wow.
Players from Philadelphia and Baltimore who just are top of their game. So the future is so bright because they're Laxers. We call it Lax IQ. Their awareness of what's supposed to go on the field, combining that with that hard work and the athleticism of our upperclasswomen is going to make for a great future.
Now, these ladies have a lot of talent on the field, but I know something that your team has been notoriously recognized for is their achievements off the field as well. Could you talk a little bit about that?
We preach student athlete. You know, it's so important to understand when you're done with your college days and playing lacrosse, it is your education that's going to prepare you for the future. What we do as a team will help you with the skills of managing, you know, the interpersonal work office, but it's the academics that get you ready. So our players really have been focused. That's something that we've gotten better at every semester that we've been on campus, and I'm really proud of them.
Now, if you had a crystal ball, where would you like to see lacrosse, especially women's, in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, different areas. You know, for us, we want to be in the NCAA championship. We want to be fighting for the national championship. That is the goal of University of Louisville as an athletic department, is to fight for championships. In the community, I want to see it keep growing. I want more high schools to keep adding. I want the youth level to keep developing. I want to, when we run a free clinic, I want to see 100 girls in our field running around, just loving the game. Hopefully, it will just every year grow, and people will get addicted as I was when I first started playing the game, and love picking up that stick and putting the ball in the back of the net.
Well, thank you, Kelly. We wish you the best of luck in next season. Hope to have you on the show again soon.
Thank you so much.